people. I'm Lacey.
Monica.
We are Tournesol Adornment, and this is your skirt tucking bijou. So this one's my responsibility. I'm already way overdoing it. She's got the dog, she doesn't care, right? So one of the things that comes up over and over and over again, and all of my students flock to me at a gig, and they're like, Lacey, tuck me, right?
I still do it.
She still does it. Number one, I think like in a previous life, I was the person that like got everybody into their corsets. So I did do costuming in theater, so that was a job that I did for a while. I just got pinned everybody into everything. But skirt tucking and all the different types of floofing that we like to do is a newer thing in Fat Chance style. Remember when Fat Chance started, you couldn't get these types of skirts. It was basically, I think, a 10, maybe a 12-yard skirt, and you wore it straight. You wore the tassel belt, you wore it straight, which is how Monica, this is going to be really fun because Monica doesn't really tuck anymore. But you wore it straight, then you wore a tassel belt that gave you volume. Where now, you know, the internet, eBay, Amazon, Etsy, all that good stuff. Now you can order, you know, skirts to your heart's content. We can get them in 32 yards. We can get them in all sorts of yardage, which let you really get fancy with all of your tucking. Mostly I just want to give you some ideas which maybe you haven't heard before or didn't quite understand. And that way you can start to feel a little bit more excited about tucking. I am going to be tucking Monica, my beautiful model. All right. So you are beautiful. Shut your face. However, the first and most important, this is our, we'll have to post my little seal.
Yes.
So this in general, like, will be like this at Troop, and there's just like this little gif of a seal that pops up out of the water and goes, and I'm like, that is my essence. So what I did want to make sure that everyone understands, and I think that it's quite important to note, and all of my heart and soul goes out to all the vendors out there, but every skirt is different.
Yes.
They just are, guys. Depending on the weight, depending on the way that it was made, and things like, they all say 25 yards, but they're not always all 25 yards. And some of them, just by design, are longer than others. And I know that no one's out to like rip us off or anything like that, but just the fact of the matter is that they're different. So the first skirt that I have Monica in is the, what is this? Ombre or gradient or some dip dye. There we go. Dip dye skirt. These skirts tend to be, just in general, longer than other skirts.
Yes.
They just are, which is why I put it in Monica in this one. So your first idea, and the first thing that I see dancers do, especially when they're new, is they pick their skirt up and they just tuck it in. Where's the tuck?
Oh,
there you go. So I'm like, it's black on black. I don't know what's happening. Right. And they just tuck in. And then they're like, oh. Right.
That's
They're
so
like,
sad.
right. And they don't know why. So the biggest thing to kind of realize is to get the floof, there's a lot of kind of finagling, as it were. So if you're going to just do a side tuck, that's where we're going to start. What you'll do usually is run your hands down the front thighs. I'm not going to get all, ooh la la, right? Hey, Monica, how you doing? Right? But the idea is that you're going to go ahead and face me just a little bit. There we go. So you're going to take the front sections of the skirt and run. You just got to stand there and look pretty. And then go to about the second tier. And you'll come together. You're going to grab both sides and you'll hook them together. And then you'll basically have them in one hand. Then you can draw it, ooh la la, tight across the body. Isn't that nice? I know she can see her feet, folks. It's a bad day. So, I know, right? But for average folks, right? Monica wants like 3 yards past her feet. Yeah. Now, what someone would usually do is then tuck it in. Right? So now you've created a really nice, I'll go ahead and turn to the side. So we like that part of it, right? What we usually don't like is this is still sad, right? Still kind of sad. So the trick to that is you grab a hold of it, you tuck, I don't know what's wrong with me.
Because I got pair leggings.
So I'm like, what's happening? I'm dressed 5 million times. So you tuck in, and then you're going to grab a little bit, like, I don't know, you're just going to go down just a smidgen, and then you tuck again. And that, folks, is how you get it, right? And then you can kind of go through. And I wouldn't remember, focus, words, I get very excited about skirts. When you look down at your costume, it is not the same as when you look at your costume. Right. So remember that, and remember what people are going to see. So for me personally, I'd be like, or why isn't that going up? So I might just grab a little and then tuck in. Don't be afraid. Now, we don't have a belt on, right? So we're kind of thinking about in class, if you have a belt, that'll just anchor you a little bit better. So I usually everybody has to hang on to something when I tuck them because I'll pull the skirt out and shove it down. So make sure. But that's your really basic side tuck. Hello, darling. Yeah, he just wants mom to hold him.
You are
Side tuck.
so
Okay, I need my notes though for the next one. So we have a side tuck. We have a double side. So taking out, so this is usually the one that really is elusive, where it's the wrap. We go from one side and then the other side. So this literally is going to be down the side body. So you're going to grab one side, same idea, slide down, and fold across. Bless you. And you'll tuck right in. Now for this I might be like, oh, we're not getting the floof that we want. So I might come a little bit closer to the front. More floof, come more front. Yeah? Crossover, more floof, more front. So now I've got a little bit more skirt to work with. Same concept, I'll tuck in, and then I'll pull up and create a little bit more tightness. I get a little bit more, oh, I didn't do a very good job there, so that's fine. Don't be afraid, you just do it again. And then I'm gonna grab from behind that. Go ahead and turn to the side for me, Monica. So here's your floof. You're gonna grab from behind that. Again, I'm gonna remember, oh, I wanted more floof though. So I came more front for the front tuck. I'm gonna go a little bit further back, so towards the back of the thigh. I'll grab a hold of that, run it across. Go ahead and turn for me, Monica. And then this is the part that's tricky when you're on your own, is because you wanna wrap it against the hip. So I'm gonna bring it across. I'm gonna try to keep it as tight to the body as I can. Same idea, I'm gonna tuck once, and then I'm gonna pull up a little bit to give me a little bit more floof. So, and inevitably I never get it even,
That's
so I'll
super
come
cute.
over. Oh, you like this?
I do like that.
Oh, I would do that on you, for
no,
sure.
I can see my feet.
Well, for class, that might be okay. She doesn't like to see her feet for class either. But it's just that
I
double.
can see my feet. It means I'm fat and my skirt's too short.
Whatever. Turn. But this gives you, and especially in this skirt, you get to see all the different colors. And don't be too worried about if it pulls up on the bottom. No big deal. So that's your side tuck. Then the ever famous bustle. Yeah. So the bustle's super exciting. Bustle, it's dependent. I did a bustle for a while. Now I don't like it as much, right? So bustle can happen a couple of ways, and this is really where it depends on the skirt that you're wearing. So the thing about the dip-dyed skirt is it isn't quite as fluffy as a regular 25 solid skirt. Don't ask me why. I don't know. It just is the truth. So with a bustle, you can go from the sides and then gather, and you'll pin together similarly to the way we did with our side tuck, where we went down the thighs, grabbed a hold, and then tucked on the side. I'm grabbing down the sides, pulling to the back. Turn back around for me, Monica. You'll want to pay attention to how what I call the apron gets in the front. Sometimes you can grab, and I'll try to do it, like you'll get all weird, right? And you're like, that's not good. So you want to make sure that everything stays relatively flat in front. So a little bit of pulling is okay. This will be hidden from your belt, right, but you want to make sure wherever you grab, it stays flat to the front and hangs nicely. Then go ahead and turn around, my love. So you're going to grab, same thing, that second tier is really where the money is. So you've got your first tier, approximately the second tier. Grab together, and then ever so delicately, folks, shove it down your pants, right? So you'll literally, and what I do is then I flip. So you go in and you flip a second time. And that is how you get all that cute. Now turn this side. Now I like it usually even. It's like, how much can I get away with, right? And it's super sweet. What's nice about this, if we turn to the front, jog and all, is you get a really sleek front, which is weird because you don't have your belt on, right? Sure. But that's where that would be hidden. But you get a real sleek line, and then you get lots of fun in the back. So it's nice in class because you can see your hip work.
Party in the back.
Business of my Okay, so this next one Monica's gonna hate, but I do it frequently, and for teachers out there, it's super helpful. So just
is this your like can thing?
Well, sort of. It's and when
I
think we'll stick with this. So it's what I'm affectionately calling high-low, right? So it's the same idea, and I might have to pan the camera for this one for you guys to see it fully, but it's the same concept as the side tuck that we did in the beginning, where I grab from the thighs, but I come straight up basically. So second tier, and what I'll do is I fold so it stays against the body, because nobody wants like all kinds of droop, like no one wants a droopy front or back for that matter, like no droopy bottoms, like what is it on the baking show, they're like no soggy bottoms. Like, no soggy bottoms. So you hold that side for me. Okay. Oh no, just kidding, you can't. No. So we're gonna pull up, pull against the body.
I feel like we have to apologize for the dog.
And then one tuck on one side, and the other tuck on the other side. It's the same idea. I hold, I pull in, and then I'll drag it up a little bit. And what'll happen if I pan down, I think I can get away with this, is that we get the feet seen, right? And the legs. And this is great for teaching, right? So really great for teaching, great for if you're working a specific concept, but you're just getting like a little high, high in the front, but then everything's straight in the back. So we're not worried about it. You can also do this, and this is what I actually do to like make me feel pretty while I'm teaching and efficient. Oh, there's like a fancy, it's time for pumpkin pies. I don't know if you knew that. We're going to wrap this up
You're
pretty
good, you're
quickly.
good.
Yeah. So what I'll do is the side tuck and a high-low. So this is a little extra. So I will grab front thighs, second tier, put it together. Take it to one side, and we'll do it on this one just to be different, right? Same concept. Tuck in. So maybe we started here. You did your warm up. Now you're like getting down to business. So then I will go to the other side, and I will grab up from this side. And something about that just tends to, I think, look fun because it's a little more asymmetric. And then everything is still tucked in and tight. So that's kind of like side high low, right? A little extra. And those are your quick tuck tips. Quick tuck tips, everybody. So remember, different skirts tuck differently, so just get to know it. Different fabrics are going to weight differently, different lengths, etc. But just get to know it. That second tier, thighs are your game. Keep it flat in front, keep it flat in back, and you'll be good to go. So happy tucking, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, catch you next time.